The president began what I've called an apology tour of going to various nations in the Middle East and criticizing America.
Nothing Governor Romney just said is true, starting with this notion of me apologizing. This has been probably the biggest whopper that's been told during the course of this campaign. And every fact checker and every reporter who's looked at it, Governor has said this is not true.
After already apologizing for setting the global recession at least partially in motion, the president also apologized for America looking down on Europe.
It wasn't only on Europe. He said America has to change its behavior and show more respect for the Muslim world. We're a country who went to war 6 times on behalf of Muslims in the last 20 years, and we're apologizing?
There have been times where America's shown arrogance, been dismissive, even derisive.
Obama apologizing for the arrogance of America?
It's one thing to say that we're a very proud country and we expect you to be proud. But to act like that somehow we should apologize for being Americans, I think most of Americans will say, wait a minute.
I hate to generalize here, and liberals, God bless them, they enjoy apologizing for America because we're powerful, because we're a leader in the world.
There's something to that. Now, the worst is that we are buried under $1.25 quadrillion in debt. Overseas, Obama is apologizing to the Frenchy French for our arrogance.
I'm sorry, so sorry.
So today is the 100 days in office for President Obama. He has spent a considerable amount of time saying, I'm sorry, just like Patsy Cline to the rest of the world.
You can add climate change to the list of things that President Obama has apologized for on behalf of the United States. Senior White House correspondent Major Garrett reports this admission came during the G8 summit in Italy.
On global warming, President Obama told the world, America's sorry.
I mean, it must be good to be the king. I guess his worldwide apology tour has worked.
That deep bow from the waist action in the Japanese culture bespeaks weakness. And look, the President of the United States simply can't get it right. I mean, it's a worldwide apology tour. We're sorry, we're wrong. And oh, incidentally, I'm going to bow deeply to the waist to you know, the once divine Japanese, Japanese monarchy. I just don't get it.
President Obama back in the U.S. after his longest overseas trip to date. But did he accomplish anything, or was this another chapter in the Great American Apology Tour?
This despite the fact that the President of the United States has had quite an apology tour, hasn't he?
A lot of people say that Gitmo is a good recruiting tool for terrorists, but how about apologizing for America's meanness toward the rest of the world? That might be a good recruiting tool, too.
I think this country has a president helping it along with an apology tour.
The President of the United States, when he was standing next to President Calderon, did it sound like he was kind of apologizing for the United States, and in particular for those meanies down in Arizona with that new law?
I do not believe the majority of Americans share the same views that Barack Obama does when he's out there apologizing for America's exceptionalism.
President Obama's Arab outreach speech later today at the Department of State. What should he say to win over the Mideast among all the uprisings? And will this turn into another apology tour?
We went through a whole series where he wouldn't refer to a war on terror, called it overseas contingency operations, man-caused disasters, referred to America as arrogant, went on an apology tour.
I think one of the things that the president has done, especially when he goes abroad and apologizes for America, it's extremely unpopular.
The country of Japan didn't think it would be a good idea for the President of the United States to visit Hiroshima, and they worried, apologize for us bombing them.
Wait a second. We'll apologize for dropping a bomb?
That's right.
In World War II.
Right. Apparently, the United States not waiting for Japan to apologize to us for bombing us at Pearl Harbor or the Bataan Death March. We would have apologized to Japan. We are so sorry. It was about the same time as the whole apology tour.
While protests continue in Afghanistan, an apology from the president was quickly doled out. In the meantime, Afghan President Karzai has yet to apologize to the families of the Americans that were killed by the violence. Now, the situation remains tense in Afghanistan, and with the president once again apologizing for America, we are reminded just how much our standing in the world has diminished under his watch.
This kind of apologitis that has marked the Obama administration is nothing more than appeasement.
Remember the president's big apology tour? Mitt Romney says he'll never apologize for America, so which is the right approach?
Talk about a phony political argument. This business that somehow President Obama goes around apologizing for America.
Well, look.
PolitiFact, everybody has said
his
bogus.
First speech as president apologized for the American exceptionalism and the way we do business.
And the other thing,
the fact that we're in this position is his fault in the first place. You don't have an apology tour. Pull the rug out from under leaders in this part of the world, create a power vacuum, and then expect nothing bad to happen.
the words speak for themselves. Either people believe that was President Obama apologizing for America, or they don't. But how can a fact checker say it's not true? Did some journalists come to Obama's defense and say that actually he never said I'm sorry, so it was not an apology tour?
Well, it kind of looks like it. When you review the tape, did he say the word apology? No, but maybe those guys had never heard what a metaphor is. But when you combine those words with images that we saw of the president bowing down to the Saudi king and other world leaders, it certainly does leave a lot of people saying it's an apology tour.